Well guys, looks like we did it. Okay, so this wasn't something I was originally going to make a video on, but I decided it would probably be best to just make this as a big thank you. Essentially, if you don't know what happened, it's a rather long story. Essentially, yes, I ended up getting my Domino Crown and Roblox accounts stolen. And, you may think, so what, big deal, but the thing is, this Domino Crown took me 3 years of trading in the trade system to get. So this took 3 years of work, and even though I'm not really playing Roblox all too much recently, it still just holds big monumental value for me. This thing means a lot to me. And of course, just to have it swiped from my paws one day, you can probably see how much that could affect me. Doesn't help that by real-world conversion, the Domino Crown is worth about 5,000 to 6,000 USD either, and of course, if you were to use like DevX and Roblox's money source and stuff, that's more like 38,000 USD, so I mean, that's kind of a lot of money. Anyhow, to kind of sort of and cut it short of what happened, it's kind of a long story and it's very upsetting to me, honestly, so not going to go too much into it. But essentially, a few weeks before this happened, I ended up making a new friend. They were very relatable to me and I really, really liked them. And kind of as context, you have to know my sort of big goal, my only goal really is just to make people happy, and that's what I want to say, happiness and no hate and stuff like that. So essentially I quickly grow a liking to this guy and we become what I thought was good friends and stuff like that, but in the end he was really just faking who he was and using me and taking advantage of conditions and stuff, I assume, just to basically scam me and steal from me. So it kind of hurts really, really well, honestly. So honestly, the whole story is something that really, really hurts, so I'm not going to go too much into it. To kind of put it into perspective, if I didn't have a few friends comforting me throughout that, I probably wouldn't be making this video right now, and I mean that literally. But again, to kind of cut to what happened, he ended up inviting me into a Team Create server of Roblox, which I didn't think at the time is kind of very much unsecure and had some vulnerabilities that Roblox apparently patched out, but looks like no, that's not true at all. They weren't patched out in the first place because I believe he injected something into my computer because of just what happened, and I'm more led to believe this because afterwards I detected an adware-like virus on my computer, so I believe this guy injected something into my computer in order to silently log into my account, and then he scammed me out of the Domino Crown. So essentially ended up getting the Domino Crown gone, and then I checked back later after I'm basically crying to him wondering why he did this, and sure enough my account's gone too. So, if you don't know what happened beyond that, sent Roblox an email and got my account back after about 10 days, but they ended up declining a rollback request because they couldn't track whether or not my account was actually compromised at the time. So after this, I went and made a Twitter post, and this is where I just have to issue a big thank you to the Roblox community, because the community banded together for something. And I thought this community was against stuff like that, against doing something, going for a cause, but no, I know that's not true, because today, and this week in general, I saw the Roblox community band against to get something. And by that, I mean it seriously got blown out of proportions, even bigger than I can imagine, and at this point I know the moderators are probably completely fed up with me. Basically, this post about the Domino Crown ended up getting over 700 likes, I believe, and that's just something amazing to me, but more than that, it got spread and spread and spread, and I just have to thank you guys so much, because this just got spread so much that I ended up getting developers and stuff contacting me, and at the end of this, I believe I ended up bringing to light a new exploit in Roblox Studio, of course, to several developers in Roblox, so at least I believe I may have gotten something patched out of this, which I guess is a good thing. But yeah, in the end I have to thank a few people. Nothorix is the main person. I never really watched his videos and such, but he's really a nice person from what I've seen, because he made a video on this and retweeted the post and stuff, and boy, this got out of hand real quickly thanks to him. That's both a good and a bad thing. I mean, we got a hashtag started to get the Domino Crown back, which ended up with like 200 actual Twitter posts, which is just amazing to me, and I know this got to the point where the moderators actually saw it, which is just completely amazing to me, and in the end, I don't even believe the moderators had any factor in returning it, because I just responded back to support giving a broader explanation, and actually got the Domino Crown back that way. So that'll get into something I'll talk about in a second, but at the base, I just have to issue a huge thank you again to Nothorix, and again to some of my friends. I have to thank Kai and then Kaneko. Kaneko is seriously one of the sweetest, pure people I've ever met, just genuine, and I think I can willingly say I love you for what you did to cover me and talk with me throughout this. Again, I also have to thank my other friends, especially Kai. You've helped me through some tough times. Reconnect Ryan and all, thank you. But again, I have to issue the biggest thank you to you guys, because without you, I might not even have gotten this item back, because you guys were seriously banding together to get this item back, and I just really appreciate it. You have no idea. And of course, my biggest thank you has to go to the Roblox community and you watching this video right now, because without you guys, I don't think I would have gotten the Domino Crown back, and during this, I seriously saw the Roblox community band together for something, and just do something bigger than I've ever seen before, which is just generally amazing to me. Again, especially thank you to my friends. I seriously love you guys. But now cutting to kind of something. In the sense that this actually happens to you, I know Roblox's support is not the best, and that's something I offer to them. If there's anyone from Roblox actually watching this video, please listen to what I have to say. The biggest concern to me is that I got the Roblox request for something I clearly got stolen from me, denied, because they couldn't track the other person, and I had to go back and of course I just wrote a long basis of what I believe happened in broad detail, essentially noting that my account may have been impersonated, VPN may have been hiding stuff to not be tracked, injected with code in Roblox Studio, that sort of stuff. So that's what I believe actually happened to me, but if I didn't think to actually post that, I probably would have gotten the Domino Crown back. So I mean, that's kind of scary, but my biggest advice is to anyone who's actually going through something like this. If Roblox denies a Roblox request and you knew you were wronged, you knew that your item was stolen and it wasn't your fault, try writing back using certain keywords. Even if you have to lie to get it back, I wouldn't advise it, but the Roblox system is just so flawed from what I've seen through this. Just respond back very broadly in what happened, and again, if that didn't work, just respond back using certain keywords that may grab their attention, because again, if your item was stolen, do what you do to get it back, because Roblox should really listen to you, and that's something I really have to point out if there's anyone from Roblox actually watching this, because I don't think something like this should even happen in the first place, but I really think that Roblox should look into making the rollback request and system and the item restore system a bit less dependent on actually tracking if the account is compromised and stuff like that. In fact, I've seen that it may be broken enough that even if you were scammed, you can probably get an item back by, again, just stating certain keywords, which, even though that may work, I think that's a bit broken in the sense, and kind of shows that I believe there's some serious problems in that field with the whole rollback and support side. So, again, if you're going through something like this, just try that, and if you have something and it's not working up to that or something, try messaging me. Again, my Twitter is PlushyFinn. I'll paste it in the description of this video, but perhaps try messaging me and I'll try to help you out if you're going through a similar situation to this. But from what I've observed, again, I think Roblox's support seriously has some issues here that I really hope they look into getting fixed, and perhaps we can make a change for this. But now back to what actually happened. My biggest issue with this is just how willingly it happened. I mean, this Domino Crown is one of the most expensive items on the website and just stolen. I mean, if you don't count the fact that this was happened through Studio and Roblox's own vulnerabilities, just look at the situation as a whole. And that's what kind of scares me. So I want to ask, to anyone who's watching this right now, to anyone that is up to this point, I want you to do something for me because I had an idea about how to make this safer. Perhaps you know about the pin feature for settings. Roblox, as of about a year ago, allowed you to set a pin that you have to enter to change settings. Now this can be bypassed through third-party stuff, but if someone traditionally gets into your Roblox account, and under most chances, they will not be able to change settings without your PIN code. So why I ask is, what's the point in having a PIN code if someone can just go and sell or trade your items just instantly? Now there is a feature to lock trades and they'd have to have the PIN code in order to open your trades up. But what I think Roblox should do is they should make it so in order to complete a trade, you have to enter the PIN code. Or in order to sell something a bit higher, you have to enter the PIN code. I think this could greatly reduce the ability or effect of having an item stolen or having an item unwillingly sold for like a lowest price possible deal or something like that. Again, it wouldn't eliminate the problem, but if you're watching this right now, I want you to go on Twitter or email Roblox. Again, Twitter mainly because it seems like we made the most impact right there. I want you to go on Twitter and just post at Roblox or something, just asking them to set a PIN code or add a PIN code feature for trades and item selling. Seriously, that's all I want you to do, and if you're watching up to this point, please do that. Just try to get in contact with Roblox. Again, Twitter is the biggest thing I've seen. And just message them or at some admins or something like that, some Roblox workers. Please just ask them to add extra security or a PIN code for trading and item sales. Please. But at the end of the day, I just want to again issue a huge thank you to you guys and another huge thank you to my friends. This really means a lot to me because I just didn't know how much thought the Roblox community and how strong they could be if they actually put thought towards something. And this is something I want you guys to do to something else, not just me. If something similar happens to someone else or another big issue happens, band together for that too, because there are a lot more issues that are just as good or a lot even better than this one to actually band together for. So I just want to issue a big thank you, and I'm really proud of the community this week. So I think that's about it for this video. Again, big thank you, and I guess the other thing to note is that if my voice is sounding a bit off, I'm having trouble holding it because I'm a bit upset still from this, so that's something at least, but I'll recover, and again, big thank you. I seriously love you guys, and again, big thank you to the guys who went and got this to the admins. Again, Nothorix, have to give a good thank you to Headless Horror and one of my friends for actually posting this to the dev forum, which I believe will get the issue with Studio across, and hopefully Roblox can look into that. But as for now, I'll have some more videos soon, so stick around if you want to see that. But as for now, thank you. I love you guys.